It is finally here. Exists. It's here. A lot of people wait for this, and to an extent I do, and so do I. It's actually here. Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Today, as the title doesn't put away and there's only that first intro, we have here is Yakuza Kiwami 3. Yes, Yakuza 3 Remake is finally here and it's finally a thing, which is awesome, and I'm very excited for this news. Well, RG Studios a day or two ago literally kind of spoiled it and kind of like accidentally leaked the game themselves. So yeah, they kind of like just said, fuck it, let's just release it so people now know it's actually a thing. So in recent RG Studios, all have been definitely the whole thing was about Yakuza Kiwami and other things, but it's basically like a TV show. That's another thing about it. But I'm focusing on Kiwami 3. Now, this is the third game of the Kiwami series. We had Yakuza Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2. And the Kiwami games are basically remakes of the original series. We had Yakuza, also with the first game getting remade. Then you got the second game. Both fantastic games. Really, really awesome. And it's a very good way, it's an excellent gateway to play the series. It's playing 0 and 1 and 2, the Kiwami versions, because better than the original, because the original, it shows its age and it's not that great. Let's be real, it's not that great. I played the original games. They're quirky for what they are, but compared to Kiwami, Kiwami is a much better polished product. And plus the series at that time was new. So I kind of forgive that. So, what are my thoughts on it? It's phenomenal. It's great. With since it's Kiwami, we can have some of the Kiwami quirks, like the gameplay being pretty much a current copy of Yakuza Kiwami 2, so it's the same exact gameplay. So nothing much crazy, but I'll get to the gameplay more aspect a bit more. The story, it's gotta be, of course, the same, because if you don't know, the Kiwami games are always a one-to-one remake of their original games. I mean, you can play the original. Yakuza 3 is available to play, but I personally suggest waiting for the remake, because I believe the remake is a much better game, because 3, to be honest, is not that great of a Yakuza game in terms of gameplay. And it's very wonky. It's extremely wonky in comparison to 4 and 5, which of course they're going to have their own Kiwami versions in the future, next couple of years. Which is kind of obvious. It's RG Studios. They're going to make a remake for 4 and 5. They might do a Kiwami 6, not sure. Okay, possibly, maybe, maybe in the future. Most likely not, but it is what it is. So, story being identical. There's gonna be more cutscenes, extra new cutscenes for the Kiwami, just like Yakuza, the first Kiwami, with Nishiki cutscenes that driven to madness that add to his character. They're gonna have the same thing with 3. In 2, there's there's no any extra cutscenes. More of a 100% one-to-one remake. But yeah, with the game, there's some changes, and there's plenty of changes with the game. The first change I'm going to talk is Kiryu. Kiryu's outfit is completely different. Gone was the creamy pants with white and red Hawaiian shirt. It's changed to just jeans and a very dark green with dragon, gold dragon around, designs on his shirt. Pretty cool design. I really like it. It's really clean, good look. I mean, with the dragon engine, obviously compared to the original. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the outfits. I like the new one a bit better, because the old one is cool. It's cool for what it is, but I felt like the new one is far better. It's just me. And speaking of changes, we got some major changes. Specifically, I have two characters that are completely different than their original counterpart. The first character is Rikia. This is what Rikia looked like in the original. This is what Rikia looks like right now in the remake. And the same thing goes for Hamasaki. This is what he looks like in the original, and this is what he looks like in the remake. And that extra, Hamasaki will play a bigger role in the remake compared to the original. Because in the original, he got outsided. There's not a lot of information known about what happened to him. So Kiwami's gonna basically make him more of an important character to set up for the 4th title, which it's gotta be, because there's not a lot. The only thing he knows he's been kind of affiliated with the Chinese mafia. So yeah, even the older, the patriarch of the clan has a bit more hair, instead of having a bit of hairline, a bit of difference of hair. Surprisingly, we haven't seen Joji Kazuma. We haven't seen Joji, which is odd. He's probably one of the more main, very important characters. You see that guy in the red dude? I don't know, I forgot this man's name. He has his name on the list. I'm definitely editing, of course. Put the name in. So Mine looks, Mine looks pretty much identical, and we're gonna talk more about Mine in a moment, because the dude has a much bigger role in this game and getting some love for this game. So back to the combat in regards to the combat of the game. So the combat has two fighting styles. We have the Dragon Reborn fighting style, which it's actually a mesh of his new Dragon Engine, Dragon style, and his classic. A lot of the moves he does are very much identical to it, and it's in the now you can see in the shot him going to his extreme heat mode. He has bounding throws, and I assume maybe the bounding throws will be tied into his extreme heat action mode. So in extreme heat mode, and I'm not sure how the Komaki store is gonna be. Probably gonna have the Komaki move set like usual and all that. And then we have a brand new fighting style, and which is basically more of a weapon fighting style. And apparently, this new weapon style is kind of like he learned it in Okinawa, and that is gonna be tied into the master of that style. But each style have their own master, which makes sense because you have that guy with the nunchucks and the dude in the beach, basically with the freaking curly hair. Yeah, that guy is basically the trainer of that style. So it's gonna be a lot of like weapons and all that. It's pretty cool style. Hope it's better than the agent style was in the Race's name. So hopefully. So that's that, and this game has a lot more content, of course. And one thing they did that I think is awesome, and it's probably one of my biggest thing I hate about the game, is the pacing. They fixed that. Thank God they fixed it, because the Sun, the Morning Glory Orphanage, has a lot of stuff, has a lot of content within it. You can basically make food, and heck, the area is much bigger now. It's much bigger. The kids are all look the same. You can make food. You can take care of the orphanage, and a lot of sections that revolve around the orphanage are all now side quests. In particular orphanage, and every single orphan in that orphanage has its own side quest. So there's a lot more content with side missions, which is good. I'm glad they did that, because that's one of the biggest complaints I have for Yakuza 3 is that the pace is like, the game goes on a scratching halt when it comes to the orphanage stuff. So, well, let's be real. They were originally supposed to kill off Kiryu in the third title. The third title could have been the finale, the last title of Kiryu. But they didn't, so yeah. A little something for people who don't know. And the game form, the graphics look beautiful. Okinawa looks great. The traversal is gonna be fun. It's Dragon Engine. Traversal is gonna be fun. Fighting him is gonna be cool. And I mean, the gameplay is gonna be a lot better than the original, because the gameplay is awful. Like I said, it's bad, it's awful, it's shit. Now, Chris, you're telling me about Mine having a much bigger role in the story in the game. What it is? Well, RG Studios decided, let's give him a campaign about him. There's a side campaign for Mine, and it's called The Dark Ties. Or Dark Ties, which is basically an origin story. It tells a story about Mine, how he went from working in the business to go to the yakuza, and basically we see his growth to becoming the boss of his own clan and all that. It is probably the most interesting and probably the thing that really made me say, yeah, sold. This is fucking awesome. A Mine campaign to fully explore his backstory and fully explore who he is as a person and the minds behind it. That is something I felt like that is something that would, a lot of Mine fans, including myself, I'm a Mine fan, because Mine is probably the last good villain, and for the rest of the villains of the franchise are basically just dog shit in my opinion. So having a campaign solely for him is excellent. And of course, his fighting style be pretty cool. He has his own heat actions, his own fighting style. He has only one fighting style. It's basically his kickboxing fighting style that he uses as a boss, of course. And his basically heat action called the Dark Awakening. His heat action, well, he basically goes haywire. He goes ballistic, haywire, and beats the shit out of people. It is insane. And even his hit hurts. It hurts. Even seeing some of the heat actions are phenomenal. Like, goddamn, some of the heat actions they gave him are brutal. Very, very, very brutal. And of course, you do side stuff with him, his own side missions and everything. If I would say maybe a 5-6 chapters, I think, at the very least. Basically, a lot of people call it Mine Gaiden. So it's kind of like that. So it's kind of like a 5-6 chapter, very similar to like the Majima's. But Majima has like about 3 levels, but here's kind of like 5 levels. So it's gonna be a lot more lengthy. And it's of course a spin-off to Yakuza 3. So it takes us before Yakuza 3. So that's probably something that I believe a lot of people are big fans of. A lot of people are happy with this one, and including myself, because he is an interesting character with such a sad backstory. To fully see within the mind of Mine, just delving deep into him, is something I feel like would be awesome. To delve in the mind. It's practically very similar to Nishiki, but the difference is you don't play as Nishiki, which just sucks. I wish you could play as Nishiki in Yakuza Kiwami. That would've been sick. But hey, Kiwami 3, have Mine, that's fucking awesome. That is something I'm 100% down. And I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. Full thoughts on Kiwami 3 is gotta be fucking awesome. It's gotta be fucking amazing. It's gotta be awesome. It went from it's a good remake to, oh my god, this is a must buy. So for me, it's a must buy game. No questions, no doubt about it. It is an absolute, is gotta be a banger. And it's gotta be a banger of a game. Unfortunately, with Strange of Heaven, we haven't seen any of the Project Century. That's okay, I have no problem. That game is so awesome too, so we got 2 banger games coming into us, so that is absolutely fucking awesome. It's pretty dope. And that is pretty much it. There's not too much to see, but it's good enough. Again, there's not a lot, but it's good enough for us to get hyped for this game. And this game will come out on February next year. Yeah, it's coming out next year. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. So yeah, that's the end of the video. What are your thoughts on Yakuza Kiwami 3? Do you like the game? Do you not interested? I feel like it's awesome. Leave it down in the comments. And that's it. Thanks for watching the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.